Ugh. Oh no. Oh no, we're doing this again. Now I'm gonna get destroyed in the King's Gambit. um Wait. You didn't do that. Two. There, take. Right, no, don't do that. Lesson learned. Damn. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, fuck. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, mistake made. I should have just put it here and actually threatened to take it and then taken it. What about that? Take. Let's do that. So maybe I should have threatened the queen instead. I don't know. Mostly I just wanted to protect that. Okay, I gotta... No. They're refuted. Wait, what? Nope. Nope. Could, no. Can't just go there. This bishop is really poorly placed. Fuck it. Does that work? Mm-mm. I don't like that. What if it weren't check? Right? What can he do? Okay. Good. Fucking A. Keith Cooperland. Anytime you see some Seven Mountain Mandate buzzwords, it's usually NAR. Wait. Oh, okay. Right. I have heard about this. Anyway, no, another specific one. I'm not looking broadly for death cults. It's not really the vibe. Mm. But this cover on Zizians, the Zizians is interesting. But it's good to, know who to avoid. A successful King's Gambit. It did end favorably. Well, not quite a bathtub game. I wasn't really winning at any point in the opening, but just maybe a little bit. But it's quite all right. Yeah, I regretted this immediately. I got stuck in a position where I couldn't move the queen until this fucking knight was gone. So I should have just done this right from the beginning. Or yeah, it's what I wanted to have played, because then I could put the queen there at least. But if you were actually aiming at playing the King's Gambit as opposed to, say, the Vienna Gambit. Oh. I'm not really aiming at playing either in the long run. Is there something holding you back from playing knight to f3 earlier? I have no idea. Maybe. Yeah. No, it was some odd sense that I should develop the queen side first. But no, like it definitely makes sense to play that there. Okay. Duly noted. Well, especially if they've... You will not have worries about getting hit with a check on h4 if you play the knight to f3 there. Okay, that makes sense. I should just play that first. Okay, engine. But I mean, maybe. Yeah, it makes sense. No, not maybe. I should. Especially given that, you know, this is likely to happen. In order to win the pawn, I might as well just go ahead and take this pawn. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. For sure. Okay. Less for sure. This, yes, but only because of just everything that happened after. Okay. Responding with knight to c6 after you played f4 is a bit weird. I feel like after e4, e5, f4, knight to c6, if you follow with knight to f3, you're going to have a bigger advantage than usual. Right, so if they don't exchange off the pawns or play d4, then I should be in a better spot at that point. Or d5, I mean, not d4. Especially if you follow with bishop to c4 rather than d4. You can play something like the way you played the Evans. Castle quickly and then look to open the f-file and use your advantage in development. Okay. I can play it more like that. I had the idea that I needed to get this pawn to the center quite quickly. But it makes sense that I didn't really need that. This is one of the reasons that black often plays g7 to g5 after taking with e takes f4. They're not insane, they're actually moving to block the f-file. Because if the f-file opens, it can favor white in a very swift and violent fashion. Interesting. Okay, so I can expect to see... Wait, g7 to g5. Interesting. Actually moving to block the f-file. Yeah, that would be very surprising. Yeah, I thought maybe I should poke the queen, but ultimately I wanted to protect this pawn. Let's make it so that they couldn't take with check. So I can move the queen as soon as that happens. This I didn't even think about. Didn't think about that pawn even once. Black never played e takes f4 here. They normally take on f4 and then defend their pawn on f4 with g5. The position you have now is quite comfortable. You don't want that h7 pawn. I agree. I didn't think I wanted it either. I didn't even think about it. I just want to attack the king. I would like that a7 pawn. Now that I would take. That h7 pawn has nothing for me. There is not, as Emmy would say, there is not gold. There's not oil on h7. Queen to a4, strong move. Thank you. I liked queen to a4 a lot. There is not gold on h7. There's a g5. Thought I killed two birds with one stone. This, yeah, I should have considered this a bit more. Key 4 also very strong. Thank you. Got the space to lift the rook. And I'd like to keep this pawn where it's at. Or keep it from moving forward. Well, I suppose not necessarily, because this wouldn't be so bad, but... So this, I just felt like... I wanted to be looking at this pawn. I wanted the queen pointed at this pawn before I did this. Because I felt like this isn't so strong. No, I think shifting pieces toward the black king is worth every tempo you can give. I think you were right to ignore what black was doing on the king side. Yeah, there's nothing happening over there. I mean, if maybe they're clearing the way for their pawns, but I want the game to be over before then. Bishop to g5. I thought about, well, I briefly thought about moving the king, but that would be GG, so. Bishop to d2. Queen to f3. That was a bit scary. I thought about that for a moment, but I prefer to keep the rook defended here, so I just slid it over. Bishop d2 is all right. Now we cannot play f takes g3 because the queen will be lost, but after queen to f3, something like rook to a4 is nice. I was thinking about rook to a4, but then I felt like this blocks it, and that's harder to work around than this. Because like if that, then I can go here, and because the pawn is here, well, okay, then I lose the pawn. But yeah, no, that makes sense. But rook to a4 will almost force a6, after which you can shift with rook to b4. Wait, okay, hold on. Rook to b4, and now you're threatening queen takes. Oh, that's very nice. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. I was looking at it like how can I try and make the, you know, his response to this the least the easiest to deal with, and I thought a6 was difficult. But no, that's a very nice solution. I like that it's even defended by the bishop. That's real good. Hey, Silverback HQ. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Sooner or later, something will crack. It did. It did. I expected him to